Welcome to Amorim's head office in Stellenbosch, South Africa. I'm Emile Javert, the PR consultant. Next to me is Joaquim Sa, managing director. We're just talking about cork as a sustainable product. And Joaquim, the cork tree itself, I've had many questions as to whether it's farmed, irrigated, chopped, pruned. What are the conditions of the forests?
The cork doesn't require irrigation, doesn't require fertilizer, so it's self-sustainable. Obviously, what we have to do is to look after the trees, prune it whenever is needed, and have replantation programs to ensure that there is a continuous growth in the plantation of cork trees.
What I find really weird is some people think you actually have to cut down the tree to make the cork.
No, not exactly. So what happens is, cork tree takes about 25 years for its teenager period, let's call it like that, and then we harvest the bark, and the bark will regenerate 9 years later. So we will do the harvest every 9 years, and only when the tree is approximately 6 years old, that's when we really start getting very high quality products from it.
So I mean, it's a real, almost 100% natural product. I mean, this comes from the bark, which is then harvested in the forest in Portugal. It's then boiled to give it a bit of elasticity.
Correct.
And then it's sponged out like this.
Exactly.
And there you go.
Well, when you talk about cork, obviously only 30% of the bark is used to produce wine corks. The rest is then grained and used for many other applications. Amorim, at Amorim, we made already our life cycle assessment, and actually cork is a carbon retainer and not a carbon producer. Why? Because even the electricity, a lot of the energy that we produce, it's made from, or it's produced out of the dust that we burn to feed our boilers, to, for example, produce steam. So it's a whole environmental process.
And of course, once you've removed the sucker, it can be recycled. It's an 100% natural product, as we've got some corks here. So what kind of projects would you embark on?
We have huge projects already in America where all corks are recycled, and I mean they have massive companies starting from airlines to hotels, where they grind the corks and it goes to the shoe industry, actually used by specialized shoe industry. Basketball players, the US Army uses some shoes made with recycled.
To walk over landmines or what?
Well, it's quite comfortable, and obviously it's sort of orthopedic because it works like a cushion, so it works very, very well. In South Africa, obviously, we started our recycling project. We try to add value by not just sending it back to Portugal to granules, to granulate and to make flooring. What we try to do in South Africa is to work in partnership with some local companies, although in a small scale still, and work out different projects. For example, we have a project with the shoe industry where corks will be granulated and will go into the sole of shoes. My project actually the company's project that will materialize later in the year is to do cork handcrafts, and it will be a black empowerment project.
Also interesting is that there's a hotel in Cape Town, the Vineyard Hotel, and they take cork granules and they put it on next to their plants in the flower beds to stop the evaporation
it's
of
like
water
a mulch.
and so forth.
You can do mulch.
Like a mulch.
Yeah.
So after the wine bottle, there's a lot you can use cork for.
Yeah,
but as far as I'm concerned, the wine bottle still remains the number one method and reason to use it.
Absolutely.